everybody, indeed. Welcome to Men and Orn's mini talk on Log Horizon Season 2 for Episode 14, Kanami, Go East. I'm Jero, joined by Fosh.
Hey, what's up?
And so much talk about Kanami on the previous episode with the whole, what was her involvement with Shiro and was there romance there. We actually get to see a full episode and a little bit kind of explain what she's been up to and where she's headed. And so a lot of this episode is about her and the group that she teamed up with, and also more about Plant Wyden as we kind of see their, next steps to basically declare war.
Right, we saw that this massive train that they put together, and I think that's what Kuroha brought up to them, was just all this, I guess, ore and metal and stuff to make this train. So I think that's the reason why she was so important in the first season, that I guess she was going around the country to country or server to server, and getting,
Mhm.
resources to build this train. And now finally have it, which is bigger than the train I think they used in, I think, no, the other guys had a ship, but it's bigger than that, I would say,
Mhm.
easily.
Yeah, it
It's
does.
huge.
Yeah, the trying to think of that group from the first season. It eventually amounted to very little.
Right, yeah.
So most of the episode is told through the stories that KR and Kazuhiko tell. They were former members of the Debauchery Tea Party, and they kind of talk about Kanami, and we see her team that consists of a teenage mutant ninja turtle, Leonardo. They were not shy at all about giving him that name or that outfit. Um, he did say Cowabunga
Yeah,
at
he
one
did.
point in the
And the
episode.
girl asked him about, you want healing? He's like, no, I'd rather have some pizza. I was like, yep,
Yeah.
there you go. It's
Yeah, so why call him Leonardo then if he definitely fits much more into Michelangelo.
right.
And he's got the dual swords like Donatello.
Yeah, I think
Uh,
they definitely kind of put all of them into like one
oh no,
character.
Leonardo. I'm sorry, Leonardo has the dual
Right,
swords.
yeah.
Donatello has the staff.
For me, it's
So we
kind of
see
cool
that.
seeing that character. He's an American. I was like, it's kind of cool.
Mhm. Yeah, so that's what I think some of the characters did in this episode. They kind of showed like, players that came from other servers like the American server, and he used a fairy ring that landed him in Asia. So that's kind of how he met up with Konami and kind of travels with her now. We see Coppelia, who looks like a maid, but she eventually is revealed to be a bot program that was created for the sole purpose of farming gold.
And yeah, that to me, that's kind of was probably the most, I guess, interesting moment of the episode. Just feeling that even
Hmm.
a program that's written by some random guy inserted into a video game actually can become an NPC in the Log Horizon world. And it's kind of weird how that worked out. How that, I guess they maybe didn't see it happen in the future, obviously, but yeah, again, she's just a program that's been written to transform into an NPC and is on the
Hmm.
team because she serves you. So if you have her in your team, she'll ask you for anything. That's why she kept asking the guy if he needs healing or anything. And I guess she
Hmm.
refers to Konami as her master. And yeah, those two are very interesting. He's talking to this. For me, it's like I would be talking to a program. That would be weird. That's very strange to me.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting with her because it studies the concept of what an NPC is in Elder Tale / Log Horizon a little differently than what we saw with Rudy back in season one, especially when you talk about the character types and the background with what he was. And, now we know Coppelius is just basically, she was a bot and now she's an NPC.
Right, different shows that I guess they can evolve and do these other things, even like Rudy, like you said,
Hmm.
becoming an NPC, becoming a player. So it's like a step further. So it makes you wonder,
Yeah.
can Capoleon do the same thing? Can she become a player eventually? That'd be kind of
Hmm.
interesting.
If anybody can do that, I'd bet on Shiro.
Yep.
To, Arius, he is a progenitor so popular, he was on the cover art for Elder Tale, and we see that he's involved in a lot of stuff with Konami and company.
Yeah, that to me was kind of funny, just thinking that he is like the poster child of the game, and he's represented as the game character. So it's like if he's on your team, I would think you'd have this kind of advantage over everyone else. And he kind of does. He's very powerful. I'll give him that.
Yeah, main character couldn't, you could call him.
Yeah, true. You actually have a main character now.
And then we see KR. He summons a giant dragon.
Yeah, at the end it was just like he's a summoner, but it's like, geez, the power you can do is amazing. But I know earlier he was a horse because he used a power to like take over an animal, so he was basically swapped sides. So he actually was a horse for like a good 20 minutes of the episode. It's pretty funny. And like all
Hmm.
the girls are, like petting on him and feeding him. He's like, "I'm not a real horse. Quit treating me like one." Well, it was pretty
Hmm.
funny. Just the interaction between all the characters was pretty great in that team so far.
Yeah. And then, excuse me. And as they're heading towards Japan, eastward, Kaname decides to intercept a horde of monsters that are heading to the village. After some reluctance from Leonardo, he joins up with them, and we get to see some battles and stuff. We also got to see an NPC that had, his health bar was layered, and he had gone like twisted evil and tried to jump on people.
Yeah, definitely. Again, showing you the game is being corrupted by something. And like an
Hmm.
NPC, like you're saying, he was half a player, half something else, half creature. He was a bunch of different things in the one, and they couldn't really defeat him because, like you said, the health bars kept switching from like NPC to actual mob. So it's like kind of confused them. Well, how do you treat this? Where they figured out, I guess,
Hmm.
the monsters that were in the area kind of, I guess, are being affected too. So they're, I guess, overpowered right now. So Konami just kind of, after being warned, this group wiped out several raids. She's like, I don't care. This is boring just standing around. She just runs in there like, and like like Leonardo was saying, don't do it. Like she's like, no,
Yeah.
we gotta do this.
And so the big battle that we saw, we had two battles going. We had Leonardo going up against the last peer boss, which was basically this girl-looking character. He's able to defeat her, but the Paps boss stuns Arius with the truth of his nature, and Kaname steps in, falsifies its claim. It's kind of an odd battle.
Yeah, for me, I've not watched much Naruto, but it felt like a Naruto battle where you have, for once, like one-on-one fights, which is very weird for Log Horizon HWC. Even like when they fought Demikos the very first time, they had more than one
Hmm.
person fighting him. So it's like right now it goes back to that. Maybe these people they're fighting are actually players, and they're really powerful. I mean, the way they even look like they're very menacing, especially the tentacle monster dude. Looks a little weird, but yeah, it's just
Hmm.
kind of cool just seeing him go back to that one-on-one fighting of the original Log Horizon.
And then KR mentions that because he died and was revived, that he doesn't know the outcome of that battle. So that's where the story kind of stops.
Right,
Oh, excuse me.
he doesn't know if she, defeated them or they got beaten or they died or what's going on, but it definitely shows you there's more going on in the world than just, what's in Japan.
Mhm.
And I kind of like that they explored more of the other area.
Yeah, and it kind of seems like the right time in the series to fit that in, like in the middle of the series, kind of make a bridge between what we just saw with the raids and heading toward, bigger stuff about the game itself. And then in the final scene, we see Nureha boarding the train going somewhere, and more about the I'm blanking on the girl's name, who's running the show behind the scenes.
Right, yeah. She definitely, like I said, they're still using Kira as the figurehead. And now, and the comment they made at the end was like, we're going to war now. And it kind of gives you
Hmm.
like an idea of what's going on. So you have basically the server versus server is what you're doing. And for me, I was thinking all is one big world, one big server, but apparently it's several servers in one, kind of going against each other. So kind of interesting. It makes you wonder if maybe we'll see the American server ever get played in here later on. But It's kind of cool, I guess. Finally seeing like an actual plot, what we're doing now.
Hmm. So some extra stuff from this episode. Kanami is very much like Tifa Lockhart when you look at her, considering her fighting nature, her look, her hair color, busty, very busty, hard not to notice.
Right. Yeah, as someone who never played that game, I know of the character. I've seen her before in several games and videos and stuff, and yeah, I could definitely see a lot of characters are easily inspired by other characters. I mean, even in the notes here, there's someone who, by Chun-Li. There's even a reference to Street
Mhm,
Fighter in there, so it does show you they pull off from other video games. But yeah, seeing Konami, her designs, I could see why Shiro would probably be attracted to her, even not just based off
mhm.
looks, but her attitude, her personality, and how
Yeah.
she doesn't really like sitting around. She wants to be doing something. So those kind of
Mhm.
characters I can actually like.
It's such a contrast from Shiro and how he is that it's kind of crazy to think about
Yeah, them as a
them.
pair. Yeah, that is kind of
Yeah.
like you said. He's very more laid back and tactical and quiet. And she's the exact opposite.
Hmm.
So it's kind of cool.
Yeah. So the team was pretty interesting. Just seeing Leonardo was just funny to me. Um, but it was interesting to see that, and of course, we're looking forward to seeing when she gets to the Japan side of things and meets up with Shiro.
Right, and seeing how her teammates interact with the main team, and I definitely I can already see the lightning bolts flashing between Akatsuki and Konami and Minori and all those girls that like Shiro. There's gonna be this a big I guess square coming soon, this love square between the girls because three of them
Hmm.
actually have very strong feelings for him. He's makes you wonder, is he oblivious to all that, or does he know what's going on? It's like, come on, Shiro. I hope he knows what's going on, but I wouldn't put it past him not to realize it because he's so
No.
into his work, he doesn't really pay attention to that thing. So,
Yeah. They even did that very typical anime thing where somebody is talking about another person and then they cut to them and
like sneeze,
that's you.
right?
Yeah.
That is pretty funny. And even Akatsuki's like,
So
what's wrong with you? He's like, I don't know, someone's
yeah.
talking about me.
Yeah. Or something, somebody just proposed something to do or something like
Hmm.
he made it sound like, oh man, I don't want to deal with
He knows
this.
what's coming.
Hmm. But on the whole, it was a pretty good episode. It was a different episode of Lost Rise, and I don't think we've had any episode where we weren't watching Shiro or Minori or Akatsuki or something. We stepped outside of the characters that we're used to watching, and we have an entire new subset of characters. And while I think it's important for the story to have an episode like this and see new characters and kind of get more introduced to Konami officially. I mean, we'd seen so much about her, but we never really, saw her interact with anybody. That part was pretty interesting, but for the most part, for me, it kind of felt like that typical middle episode where you have something different that kind of leads into the bigger events that are expected to come in the second half.
Yeah, for me, almost like I would say it'd be a start of like a brand new season. They would do something like this,
Yeah.
where they're you still have the main cast, but we're gonna let them do their thing and then take off break and go do this instead. And to me, that looks refreshing, even though I almost feel like it's the same thing over and over. Characters are interacting and they fight and there's more to the story, but to see, I guess, a new face, maybe hear a new voice is, I guess, refreshing. I was even
Hmm.
almost half expecting a new opening, the way things were going. All these new stuff, just showing the other side of the world. Like,
Yeah.
oh, here we go. Here's this new stuff.
That was pretty disappointing in the first season when they didn't change OP
Right?
and
Yeah.
ending.
Because usually people can tell when a season's coming out. If it's 24 episodes, usually around 14, 15, they usually change it up. But yeah, so they're gonna keep it right now.
Aren't the database guys doing a new song for another show?
Yeah, Natsu no Taizai. They did an opening for them though.
Okay.
100% English, just like Log Horizon's opening. So it's very,
Oh,
very
cool.
cool seeing them do a little bit more, but some people are like, it's the same thing. Like, True.
That is not the show that I thought they would have done.
Yeah, you would think maybe
You
like
know.
Parasite, second half they would do
Mhm.
something because the first opening is technically half English. And yeah, so it's very weird hearing them do something different.
All right, so thank you for listening to our mini talk on episode 14. For Fosh, I'm Jero. We will see you next week.
See ya.